Well, hello all. Fingers crossed everybody's here. Just realised I haven't spun my camera. Everything's got its mind of its own in here tonight. Just walked into the room that we filmed this in and my cameras had all flopped because I have it on a camera above here and that had all slipped. So fingers crossed the emergency repair I've done is going to hold us together. So let's see if anybody's with us. Oh, good morning, evening, Gillian, Sue, and Jules. Everybody here already. I wonder what tonight will bring as well, Gillian. It's going to be one of those nights. It could be fun. It could be a disaster. It could be anything. But we'll wait and see. It says we're connected to Facebook. So if anybody's watching on Facebook, if you could just give me a quick comment so that I can see that you've come up, that would be amazing. Normally Martin's up there and running, so... Oh, I was going to bring some of the samples up from TV and I've left them in next door. So I can't have those today. I'll show you them next. I'm going to do some pictures of them, hopefully. I can't even ask Martin to bring them over because he can't do it. I knew there was something I would forget tonight. It's been one of those weeks. Thank you very much, Martin. Now you can go and enjoy your evening. So, what's everybody been up? That's already falling on me. We might have a bit of a wobbly night. Right, I'm going to have to tip you up to there for a second, everybody. There you go, sneak peek of what we're doing. I do not know what has happened to this, but it's not going to be fun if it keeps falling like this all the way through. Did this to me one time before, didn't it? Don't know what's happened, it's been fine. And it was fine. You get to see everything that you're not supposed to see. Oh well, we'll just have to go with it, ladies and gents. I'll just have to keep propping it up, I think, tonight. Apologies. Anyway, that's me. Evening, Pat. It's a difficult one with Martin. Evening, Linda. We don't... and Di. Wow, you sneaked in there on me. There's not really a lot that can get better until his boot starts to be dropped. So he's my Robocop at the moment. He's sleeping in this... Well, he has to be in this boot for the next... We've got a specialist appointment a week on Monday. So hopefully we'll get a bit more news then. He's still no weight bearing, still on crutches, losing his mind, but he'll get there. Fingers crossed. Anyway, back to what we were up to. So, tonight... Oh, you're going to get me again for a minute. First of all, I haven't had a chance to even go on Facebook and thank everybody for joining us on TV last week. That seems like a lifetime ago now. Evening, Dawn. I will move the mat in my picture, Martin. Yeah, so thank you all so much for joining us on the shows. It's been mind-blowing. We have been absolutely swamped. So apologies if you were a bit late getting some of your orders out to you. We were doing our very, very, very best. It's just been absolutely bonkers. And we went straight from TV and then we had our last workshop of the season last Saturday. So it has been all go. Everything's on the hoof. So fingers crossed, we can now take a breath, which would be really nice. Speaking of taking a breath, what are we up to tonight? Well, we launched our new stencils. Launched our new dies 2 weeks ago with you guys. Hi, Carol. Let me know how Sarah's doing, please. Linda, he has ruptured his Achilles tendon. Or partial rupture, they actually think. But yeah, whichever, they still treat it the same, 12 weeks in a boot. Yeah, so we launched our new dies a couple of weeks ago and took them on TV. We didn't have much stock left of our own before we went on TV. We now have hardly any stock left. Evening, Mary. How are you? Evening, Nancy. Mary, I don't know if you've heard, we have moved venues for our workshop in Wigan Haydock. We're now at the Mercure in Haydock. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Susan. Pat's put that she missed the shows. They are available, or will hopefully be available on our website beginning of next week, but they are available on YouTube if you want to go back and watch them. Blimey. Yes, Jules, you can now show your cards from the workshop. Thank you very much for holding those back. Hello, Carol. Welcome, a newbie. So I'm reading everybody's comments and forgetting what I'm talking about. So yes, we launched them 2 weeks ago. We took them on TV. It was absolutely bonkers on TV. They didn't know if we'd be able to do the second show, so we added a little bit extra that we could to the stock, and that sold out before the show even opened. Second show started, we were on single figures again, so it went mad. And we've gone mad ever since. So some of our dyes are already out of stock. Some of them we are less, literally, when I say less than a handful, I'm talking we have less than 5 left. And we order in hundreds. So ladies and gents, thank you very, very much. We do greatly appreciate it. So now back to what I was going to show you. Hopefully, see, we're already tipping. It's going to be one of those nights, everybody. I'm trying to think if I've got anything here that can hold this up for me until the end, but it's not going to, so we'll just have to keep moving it around, and I can only apologize for the tip. So these are the dyes. So we have got Fragrant Sun, we've got Fine Wine, we have got Butterflies and Flowers Large Corner. As I say, less than 5 left of those. I think there's actually 2 left on that one, and I think there's 4 left of this one. And then we have our balloons back in stock. Every time we bring them in, they go again. So that is what we are working with at the moment. We did warn everybody, when they're gone, they're gone. We have spoken with our Chinese. Unfortunately, all dyes have to come from China because nobody else in the world makes them. Our suppliers, and we're seeing if we can bring in the ones that have gone out. But at the moment, we're looking at probably a 6 to 8 week delivery on those, which means the new stuff will be out past that anyway. So, dilemma we have. So, tonight's card, we'll be using our Fragrant Sun dye. It will also be using our black cardstock and our white cardstock. Comes in 120 and 300 GSM and 250 and 300 GSM on the white. We're using our sticky glue. It's only available in the large at the moment. Our glue manufacturers have disappeared, have gone under, like so many things at the moment. So we are in the process of sourcing a new one. Hi, Susan. We've got the blending brushes back in stock in both sizes at the moment. The handled ones are on their way. Hi, Jill. Wow, it's a busy evening this evening. Hi, Chris. So we've got Picked Raspberry, Kitsch Flamingo, Shabby Shutter. We'll also be using the Versafine Onyx Black and the Crystal Clear Embossing Powder. I say we're using. I've used it. I've already prepped it. So I won't physically be using it tonight, but you will be able to see where we've used it. So we'll clear the desk down and get started. He's on the mend as much as he's going to be for a while, Mary. That's a nice idea. Easter cards with it, Carol. Hi, Elizabeth. So this is what Carol's put up there. So she's been playing with her Fragrant Sun. Oh, I forgot to mention we're also using the quilted dye, but because I've taken it out of the packaging, I forgot to get it out. See, you can tell what kind of day I'm having. I think we're just all shattered after tonight. I haven't mentioned that yet, Margaret, but thank you so much. They are beautiful. For those of you that don't know, you can't have lived in this world for very long, because I tell everybody it's my birthday on Monday, and it's a big one on Monday. And I received today a beautiful bouquet of flowers from Linda, Margaret and Tina. And they are beautiful. So thank you very, very much, ladies. You really didn't need to do that, but it was a very lovely thought. Hi, Josie. Right, as I say, apologies, ladies. We've got a bit of an issue going on with my stand. I'm going to really work on that stand in the next couple of weeks. So what do we need today? You are going to need, you can have me for a minute. Let's start with this one. So we have got some scraps for our sentiments, for the sentiment, which would, the Fragrant Sun comes with the 4 dies. So you get the 3 circles. Hi, Sarah. I will pass that on. Thank you, Susan. 3 circles, and then you get the large die. And yes, they are pink because they're honeydew grasses, so they have to be pink. It's the law. Oh, this is going to drive us all bonkers, isn't it? Never mind. Hopefully, we'll get it under control. Oh, so that's what I mean for your sentiments. I've used some of these little circles for that, which I have already pre-cut. So, and then you need a piece of scrap to cut the die cut out with. That's all I need. Hi, Lynn. Then you need, I'll put that on this one. Oh, it's a 7x7 card blank. And then we will bring up the other sizes. Then you need a black square, which is 6 3/4 inches. Hi, Nancy. Happy birthday to your son. I have already stuck that on here just because it was one less thing for me to lose today. Then you need a white piece, which is 6 1/2 inch square. Another black piece, which is 5 3/4 inch square. And then you are going to use a white piece to run it through your embossing machine with your stencil. Margaret, I forgot. Linda told me earlier it's your birthday on Monday as well. I can't believe none of you told me. Happy birthday for Monday. What exciting things are you going to be doing? Do you know what I'm going to do? Because we can't go anywhere or do anything, unfortunately, this year. We've got an IOU on going somewhere. So I'm going to spend the day in my pyjamas, eating chocolate, watching movies. Things like Dirty Dancing and Pretty Woman and all the movies that I love that nobody else wants to watch. So that's what I'll be up to. What are you up to? Exciting? Anything exciting, Margaret? So let's have a full screen. So we are going to run our stencil through a die cut machine. So I've got my thick platform. I've got one cutting mat. I've got my silicone mat. And I will run, this is a tumble dryer sheet. I'm going to run a tumble dryer sheet over the top of that and over the top of this to try and take some of the static away, because it does get quite staticky. Staticky, is that a word? Gonna lay the stencil on there. Oh, I love my birthday, Sue. And yeah, I'm gonna be 50, everybody. Can you believe it? I can't believe I'm 50. I don't feel like I'm 50. I don't know what 50 feels like, but it does sound like a good day, Tina, doesn't it? That's exactly what I thought. That's what I'm going to be doing. So you can all think of me eating chocolate Easter eggs. So, die cut machine. I think they're lots of people's favourite movies, Pat. Pat says, I'll watch with you. They're my favourite movies. So every die cut machine will be different. Even if it's the same brand, we're Sizzix Big Shots, but even if it's the same brand, you may find that you need a slightly different sandwich when you're doing your die cutting or your stencil embossing, whichever. So we'll run that all the way through, out the other side. Not the most exciting part of the show, is it? I'll put this out of the way now. And take those 2 pieces out of the way. Get rid of the sandwich. And then I'm going to take my Make Art Station, which I say this all the time, is probably my most used piece, apart from my trimmer, my most used piece of equipment I own. Originally I bought this for my mum for Mother's Day. Don't think Mum ever gets to see it these days. Rarely anyway. So pop your stencil back on the top, and then I'm going to take my inks. Carol, I love it. Where's a flat pack? These. Do you know, I do agree with that though, because there's so much waste of packaging with Easter eggs, isn't there? I did actually get one for somebody that has actually just got silver foil wrapped around it, which I think is a great idea, because most of the time we're just paying for the boxes anyway. So I've got Kitsch Flamingo here, and I've kept my stencil on top of my embossed piece of paper, and I'm just going to wiggle that through. That sounds like heaven, Margaret. I've got cake too, so I'm going to be feeling really sick by the Monday night, aren't I? And then the 50-something diet starts. Right, so we just carry on. I'm not going to do this whole thing, it's going to take me forever. I'm going to pop that to one side. So you're going to do the whole thing, clearly. And you'll end up with something along those lines. Now my brush has got probably a different coloured inks in there. A couple of different pinks, because my other pink one's still drying. So if I was doing just Kitsch Flamingo, and I've cut it to size with this one, we're looking at something along those lines. All right, so it's quite pale. We're going to take our die cut machine again. I'm going to go with my littler one this time because it's easier to manoeuvre, to prove it doesn't just look pretty in the corner. For those of you that clock it in the, it's always behind me on my lives. So again, I'm going to take my die, anti-static over the top. Now my little mantra to myself is flat to the mat. I try and keep one plate uncut. The other one's very well loved. So yeah, it is very well loved. And we're going to pop a piece of paper on the top and run that through. So again, it's on the platform. And again, with every machine, it's different. You might need a slight shim on any of them, or it's just every single machine, be it the same make or whatever, they will be slightly different. So we'll run that through. Again, put my machine out of the way. Get rid of all the pieces. And because I've used that tumble dryer sheet on there, it just literally pops out. There's a couple of little extra pieces to pull through. And that's it. All those little twiddly bits all come out. The odd little piece that stays in there, I do always try and take those out before I put my dies away, because then when you go to use them, you curse the fact that you haven't done that. Right. And I'll get rid of all the little bits that have come out and get rid of our net. So that's the hardest part of this card. Die cutting. Takes all the effort. Then let's start putting this together. So I've got my larger white piece. Is this the, let me have a look what size this one was. 6.5 inch square. And I've just inked around the edge using picked raspberry. Let me get rid of that. Come back to just that screen. Turn that one off. And again, I'm just going to stick that down. Actually, before that, I want to show, we're going to backtrack slightly. Bear with me. I tried lots of different ideas for this, so I'm going to show you a couple of different ones as we're going along. Thank you, Tina. Now, I want to get kind of a little bit of a textury look on this one. So just with my blending brushes, I'm just going to go through. I brought that die back on myself, which is why you're seeing some extra pieces coming off this die, because I used the tumble dry sheet and then ran it back on itself. It's moved slightly, so you're going to keep inking that up all the way around. I have got some I did earlier, but I will show you my green as well to show that you can get the colour. Oh, it's alive. Just going to blend that middle and try and pick up some green on those edges. To get the base of those buds. How do you come up with new ideas for stamps and dies anyway? Quite often losing my mind like I was this week. I had Monday afternoon and all day Tuesday, Monday afternoon, Monday evening and all day Tuesday to come up with 6 new dies and 4 new stencils. I was still at it at 1 o'clock in the morning, Jill. Sometimes they just happen and other times you have to work on them. But one thing I do not do is look at what anybody else is doing. I don't care what the trendy things are. I do what I know I want to work with and hope that if what I'm working with, what I want to work with is what everybody else does. And 9 times out of 10, touch wood, we're very lucky. So you're just going to ink those up and hopefully by the time you've finished doing all of that inking, we have something like this. You could do it lighter at the bottom and come out darker. If you're happier to ink it on a square first and then die cut it, you can do that as well. So you can, if you want to, you could do it a square, put your green in the middle, a rough idea of the size, so you can pop your stencil on to give you an idea. Pop your die on. If you pop your die onto a square piece of paper, if this was square, pop that onto a square piece of paper. You've got a rough idea where your green's going to go. So I would probably, if I was going to do it this way, just give myself an idea of where the green is going to go, and then pink around the edge, and then die cut it. There's lots of different ways of doing it if you're not hugely confident with the brushes, or if you don't have the brushes and what you blend with is going to be too harsh on the delicate dies. There is so many different choices. So anyway, once you're done, and I did leave my centering on this. The reason I've done that is it just gives it a little bit more stability before you, rather than cutting out the circles in the middle. Now I'm just going to flip up these little bits on the petals. If I come up here, you'll see what I mean. So you can flip these little bits up on the petals. And it just gives it a little bit of dimension. You could flip the whole flower up if you wanted to. I'm just going to go with this. Thank you very much for that, Jill. It did go very, very fast on our birthday show. Incredibly fast. And we do have some of them left on our website. So that's the one thing. Although everything is on the TV, they have a set amount that they get given. And then obviously everything is still available on our website as well. So if you ever, apart from some of them have gone out on our website as well now. It's been bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But again, thank you very much, ladies and gents. We couldn't do this without you. I think we've had a slight dip, so we will undip us. So now I'm just going to stick all of this together. Oh, I was going to show you a couple of other colour choices first, wasn't I? We'll do that before I stick it all together. So when I was doing this, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I had a little bit of a play with a couple of other different things before I settled on what I was going to do. Not because I didn't like them, but just different options. So I've tried it with our Starburst stencil. Starburst, where did that come from? It's a firework burst. And that looks quite effective. Let me bring that in a little bit. Just while I'm building this, I will show you. Good evening, Carol. Lovely to hear from you. Okay, so Carol, you're going to get a blue star. So Carol is one of our design team members, and Carol is in hospital at the moment, having just had twins. If you watched our birthday show, they were born last Thursday, so they're a week old today. Happy birthday, boys. We're still waiting to hear the names. I'm sure that will come out when she's ready. So that's our firework burst. I saw your pictures, Mary. So Mary's put, she had a few days away at the lakes with a friend using the last bundle she'd purchased from the TV, and she couldn't make our Wigan workshop. So hopefully, Mary, we'll get to see you at another workshop now that we're a bit closer. So another option, I did just mustard seed background, and then I think I used, it wasn't mustard seed in the background, it was fossilized amber in the background and scattered straw. So that's another option. Obviously pretend this was a yellow centre, not a pink one. And then I also thought that that'd be quite cool as well. So that was bringing in our Floral Reasons die, and obviously it would look better if it had a gem in the middle. So let's have a quick look and see what gems I can find. Maybe a pearl in the middle of that. So that would be quite fun. So that's another one colour option I was looking at. And then I also, this would obviously be on a bigger, we'll go on bigger cards. So that came out quite funky as well. So that was with our flame stencil. And then I also tried this, which is our flower head stencil and mask. And I thought you could pop that on there. Maybe chop off some of those off the edge of the page. But that looks really cool. I really like that. So there's lots and lots of different options. But I've gone with the classic look tonight. So that's what we're going with. So as you can see, I've got sentiment here, sending well wishes your way. And that is from our Wallflowers set, I think. Carol, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Was it the one I just had, which was Floral Reasons, which I just put the pearl on? Hang on, let me pick it up. Is it this one, Carol? Hopefully. So if it was this one, Carol, it's Floral Reasons. And if it was this flower, it's actually a stencil, and it's called Flower Head Stencil and Mask. So give me a shout. So that one, Floral Reasons. Right, so we'll get back to putting this card together. Don't know where the evening goes, do you? It flies by, doesn't it? So normally I have a list of things that I need to tell you about at the end of my show. But because I write that usually when I get up here just before we go live, and I walked in and my cameras had all dropped, I couldn't write that list. So we'll have to try and remember it as we're going along. So Carol, if it was the Floral Reasons you were talking about, yes, Jill, I was just about to say that Floral Reasons is in stock, but I believe there are 4 left. I believe there's only 4 left at this moment in time. So if you're after them, you're going to have to be quick. And the flower head stencil, yes. So that is just a flower. It's called Flower Head Stencil and Mask. And yes, we have just had a delivery of that. So yes, that is in stock. So as I said, I cut down my quilted stencil that I embossed down to, I think it's, I'll come back to the measurements, but I think it's 5.5. No, it's not on that one, it's on that one. I didn't write that on there, did I? Let's check. It is it's 5.5 inch square. So that's the 7-inch square that I told you to do, and I cut it down. It's 5.5 inch square. And then we've got our sentiment, sending well wishes your way. So this was the reason why I left the centre in there, to make it a little bit more stable. It gives you the extra layer and the colouring as well. Now, I'm going to go round and pick up the bits that we haven't flipped up, just with the little bit of glue that, as I'm keeping it face down, the little bit of glue that comes out of the end of my glue bottle. I'm going to try and not let too much come out. That's not always possible. I think that's all of it. So let's see if we can flip this over and stick it down without getting glue and gunk everywhere. Sorry people, I'm going to have to move it down a little bit because I should have put it on before I put my sentiment on. There, I think we're there. Just flip those pieces back up again. Oh, I'm concentrating and not talking to you all. That's very rude of me, isn't it? And that's it. How easy was that to make? I think that's a really nice card to get through the post if somebody, particularly if somebody's feeling a bit poorly. Sending well wishes your way. And as I say, there was loads of different options. I really liked it with the flower head. You could even do that with the yellow, couldn't you? If that was yellow in the background. Thank you, Elizabeth. Just get rid of that mess. I haven't got the flower head stencil here, otherwise I would have shown you that in yellow, because I think that's quite fun. But as you've seen, Floral Reasons, just on a white background there with that going across and a sentiment up there. How nice is that? Just see, these are all pieces that I play with all the time, and I never throw them away. We have so many different pieces of paper here because they all come into their own whenever you're playing. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to look good, but we'll try it. Maybe with the different colours behind it, it would look nice. Or that in orange with the sentiment in the middle. could get there. So yeah, there's so many different options. So this was a background that I'd made using our stepping stone stencil, and then I did the negative part. Have I still got the negative? Yeah. So what was left on the stencil of the colours, I just spritzed the stencil and took the ink off it. So you've got the negative and the positive. Don't waste it, can you see? They always end up getting used for something. All the time. Right, so back to what we were doing. As you all know, I like to have something in the middle just to carry it all the way through. So I am going to take the one I was working on. I think I would just pop that on there. Now, do I stick it in or do I stencil round it? I think we're going to stick it down. Maybe just put those little petals, those little flowers there in. Let's just snip those out. Two that I was working on to show you the inking. So we're just going to snip those off. Round those ends off a little bit so they're not, so they don't look like they've just been snipped off, if you know what I mean. Just to give a nod to what we've been doing. Oh, Michelle, my goodness, you've been, everybody's up talking to, somebody's been in the hospital. Hope you're on the mend, Michelle. If you can't read her comment, she's put, wishing me a very happy birthday. I've just come out of hospital the day after hysterectomy to join your live. Well, I'll take that as a compliment that you came out of hospital just to join my live, Michelle. My live that the glue doesn't want to work. It was doing that to me on my workshop as well. So we are just going to pop those in on the inside, just because you know I'm always telling you. Now, I don't want those bits to flap up on the inside, so I am going to stick them down. There we go. Did you get one of my last few left, did you, Jill? So, there we go. One completed. Fragrant Sun die. Sentiment is from, I believe it was from Wallflowers, our last release. And then we've got these lovely little bits that flick up just to give it a little bit of movement to that die. I love it. So, right, flip back round, you get me again now. I'm sorry, ladies. Me again. If we go here, you get me and the card, I think. 1, 2. Oh, swap them around. Oh, now let me take it off. 1, 2. There, that's better. Right, so what do we need to tell you about? Run through quickly again what we've used. So we've used the Fragrant Sun. We've also, you don't need me on this for this, do you? So we've got Fragrant Sun and Fragrant Sun dye. This is what we've got left. And again, not many left. Fragrant Sun, we've got Fine Wine. We've got Butterflies and Flowers Large Corner. Floral Reasons. And our Balloons dye is back in stock. But again, not very many left again. And then we used Kitsch Flamingo and Picked Raspberry and Shabby Shutter inks. We will take that back out wrong way, that way. We've used our blending brushes that we have in the 2 sizes. We've used the sticky glue. Thank you very much, Jill. Hope you enjoy them. We've got the sticky glue. We've used our crystal clear embossing powder and our Versafine Onyx black ink for the sentiment. And the cardstock is our super smooth white and our black cardstock for layering. Right, that's all of those bits done. Now, what have I got to tell you about? So we have got obviously the weekend off because it's Easter. So happy Easter to everybody. Hope the Easter Bunny's good to you all. And then the following weekend we're in Lincoln at the, I think it's Craftorama in Lincoln at the showground. If you are coming, we're in a new venue, the bigger venue. So we're just across the road or across the car park from the older venue. Hopefully it will be much nicer and more room for everybody. Because it got a bit tight at the last one, I believe. Lots of people and not so much space. And then the following weekend we are up in Lee, Greater Manchester again for a Sincerely Yours work show. And that is at the Lee Sports Village, which I think it's the 4th of May. Then the 10th of May we are at the Excalibur Papercraft Fair at the Motorcycle Museum. And I think that's May. And then we'll be into June and then we're in Kent again. Oh my goodness. This year, I don't know if anybody else, but this year has just flown by for us all. Or for us here anyway. So this is what we've made up today. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a really quick Facebook Live tonight. But as I say, I hope everybody's enjoyed themselves. We will be back on 2 weeks today, whatever date that is. Is that the... Where are we with the 17th, 24th? Is it the beginning of May? 1st of May? 1st, 2nd of May? Something like that. So that's when you will see us next. And I hope you all have a lovely Easter. Enjoy time with family and friends. And eat lots of chocolate because it's the law. It's Easter. And we will see you all again in a couple of weeks' time. Oh, in the middle of all of that, I forgot to mention we're on TV before I go. And that is the 7th of May. So, and I believe it's at 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock again. So that's me. I'm done. Have a lovely evening, everybody. A great Easter weekend. And fingers crossed the sun shines for us all. We'll see you all on the other side. Have a lovely time. Take care.